Welcome into another edition of Loggers Live here from Loggers headquarters. My name's Chris Calloway, joined by Loggers field manager Brian Lewis. We're almost at Christmas already. The winter meetings were last week in beautiful Florida. Got some nice weather today, but you ready for Christmas to be here?
No, I'm never ready for Christmas, but once Christmas gets here, it means baseball's right around the corner. And early Christmas gift for myself, actually, with the Cardinals signing Ozuna a few days ago, so I'm a little excited about that.
Did they give up more or less than the Yankees did for Stanton?
Yeah, well, probably a little less.
Well, 1 month after Christmas, Thursday, January 25th, we are happy to announce that we have an awesome lineup for the 15th Winter Baseball Barbecue to be held at the American Hotel and Conference Center on Rose Street on the north side of La Crosse. This year, our featured guests will be Mason McCoy and Stu Peterson. Mason, of course, the 2015 Northwoods League MVP, came back for a second season with the Loggers in 2016. His name is all over the Loggers record books. And Stu Peterson, who has his own major league ties as well, he is going to be joining the Loggers staff as hitting coach this year. Mason and Stu are going to be the featured guest speakers at the 15th Winter Baseball Barbecue. Let's start with Mason. You know him probably as well as anybody. I'm not sure he's the one for a big, long 45-minute speech, but he's not going to go that long. He's going to have some interesting insight, I would imagine, over the last couple of seasons of his post-Logger career.
Yeah, absolutely. He's always a fun guy to listen to talk. You're right, though. He's not a big public speaker. He really does not enjoy speaking in front of crowds, to put it mildly. But, La Crosse has a special place in his heart. He had obviously a great career here and went on to do great things at the University of Iowa and now with in the Baltimore Orioles organization. So I know that the people of La Crosse, the season ticket holders, the fan base, the front office, and everybody's been involved with the organization really means a lot to him. So it doesn't surprise me that he's willing to forego his public speaking tendency, his dislike of doing it at times, to come and talk to the people of La Crosse.
And I think we told Mason it's going to be more of a Q&A session than it's going to be purely a speech, which I think he'll be more comfortable with because he'll be able to, tell about his time in La Crosse, his time in the Orioles organization, University of Iowa, whatever you might be. So you can submit questions ahead of time. You can submit them right now on our Facebook Live, our Instagram Live as well. You can send them to us. You can ask them live at the event there as well. But Mason, he's one of those guys that it's just an incredible story. I mean, I would imagine from time to time you find yourself thinking back on who he was when he came to La Crosse in the late spring, early summer of 2015. Just a temporary guy on a contract, and just the way that his next two seasons took off to where he is, a sixth-round pick for the Orioles, it's still remarkable to think back on.
There's a lot of what he did that is remarkable, no doubt about it. I mean, he rewrote the record book here in a lot of ways, and he took the Northwoods League by storm. That being said, though, the Mason McCoy that I was fortunate enough to see early on in his college career when he was a junior college player was very similar to the Mason McCoy that came here. He turned in to be a little bit more consistent here and learned a lot more about the game, obviously, while he was here, and then, of course, at the University of Iowa. But, he was a junior college All-American. So he wasn't necessarily an unknown. It's just that he was a little bit unproven at a high level. And when he got here, he had a great start. I had talked with Chris Goodell beforehand, thinking that we're going to have to give up a great player because he was only on a temp contract. But that's just the nature of the game. And fortunately for us, we were able to keep him. He's able to stay, and the rest is history.
That's certainly true. And one of my favorite things about Mason is that he's very humble. He's very gracious with his time. He's signing autographs till the very end. But the way that the other guys on the team sort of treated Mason. I mean, they saw the honors he got, the recognition he got at the park from the fans, and the way that they were kind of like, whoa, Mason, he could run for mayor in La Crosse. I mean, that was one of my favorite things. I mean, what was it like being with the dugouts when the other guys kind of seeing like, holy crap, this guy's good?
Well, it was always in good fun, And Mason's one of those guys that he's a great guy to kid around with, to throw jabs at, because he takes it in a joking manner, and he's not afraid to dish it back out when it's his turn. So it was always fun in the dugout with him, because whether it was from another player, whether he might have even been a coach, the jokes were always in that kept it light in the dugout. But he earned every bit of it. As far as he earned every bit of the respect and the recognition that he got. The players knew that, and that was the thing, is it was never anything from the other players that was in a mean manner or mean fashion. they knew how good of a player he was. They knew that our team was a great team because of him in a lot of ways. I mean, we had a lot of great players on that team in 2015 that went to the playoffs, no doubt about it. But Mason was the one that day in and day out kept it going, and they knew that, and they respected that.
You have guys come in from, the big West Coast schools, the Pac-12, D1 conferences. Then you have a guy from Mason who's from a junior college in Iowa. I mean, those are kind of two opposite ends of the spectrum in the Northwoods League. I mean, does it take a little bit extra for a guy from a JUCO in the Midwest to earn respect in this league?
I think yes and no. I think that a lot of the players in this league, at least the ones that I've been fortunate enough to be around in lacrosse, they understand that baseball's baseball, and that it doesn't necessarily matter what school you're from if you can play. And the thing about Mason was he proved that right away, and that he could just flat out play this game. You tend to get more guys that maybe from a bigger program that think they're a little better than they are, as opposed to not respecting the guys from smaller programs. And what's fun for me is listening to these guys through the course of a season really get on each other and for different things. And that's what you'll find a lot more is maybe two guys from rival Pac-12 schools jabbing at each other because there's a reason you're at such and such, and blah blah blah. And that's what's fun for us is to see those friendships and those relationships blossom through the course of a season, where you might have a Trojan and a Bruin that on the roster, and it's always fun to listen to that kind of thing.
Well, speaking of the Trojans, our second featured guest that night is going to be Stu Peterson, who was a ninth-round pick by the Los Angeles Dodgers out of the University of Southern California. He has a famous baseball family. His son Jock was in the World Series. He's an outfielder for the Dodgers. One of his other sons, Tiger, is a coach with the Duluth Huskies in the Northwoods League. But Stu Peterson going to be joining the coaching staff for the Loggers for the upcoming 2018 season, and he's going to come and kind of sort of introduce himself to the Logger Nation and have some Q&A there as well. But from what you've gotten to know about Stu, what are your kind of impressions about what having him on your staff is going to be like?
I'm excited. I'm more than excited about adding Stu Peterson. When you talk to him, his passion for hitting just it overflows from him. Mm-hmm. He's very passionate about teaching hitting. He's going to demand a work ethic that is going to be second to none. I mean, he wants guys that want to come in and work every single day. Some guys, a lot of guys come to this league knowing that that's what we expect. But once in a while, you get some that don't, and so he wants to work with guys that want to get to the next level. I mean, that was the biggest reason for him joining our staff, to be quite honest with you. So I feel fortunate that we're able to have him. I feel really fortunate personally and selfishly that he's on my staff and I can turn things over to him. But he's going to bring an aspect of hitting. He's going to bring a knowledge of hitting that our hitters, quite honestly, haven't had here in a while.
And it's not like a situation where we had to twist his arm and try to convince him to come work.
No, not at all.
In the Northwoods League. He applied. He wanted to be here. He's excited about the opportunity. And I would imagine that, just kind of having him in the dugout, even if he's not given specific instructions, guys are going to kind of soak up his baseball experience.
Absolutely. And he did get some playing time in the big league, so he is a legitimate big league, former big league player. There's no doubt about it. But these kids nowadays that we're going to have, they're going to know his son, obviously Jock, a lot better than they know him. Stu's resume is going to command respect from the players without a doubt. But at the same time, just in phone conversations that I've had brief, and I'm getting to know Stu just as much as anybody else, but you can't help but get excited listening to him talk about hitting. It's contagious, and those guys are going to sit in the dugout or batting practice around the cage, and they're just going to absorb all that knowledge. And he seems to me like a guy that can really teach hitting, and it's going to be fun for the players to learn from him, and I can't wait to see it in action.
So Mason McCoy and Stu Peterson are our featured guests for the 15th Winter Baseball Barbecue. Once again, that's Thursday, January 25th at the American on Rose Street. Coach Lewis, what do you got planned for your speech?
Well, see, that was part of the reason that I wanted Stu to come.
Sure.
So that he could take up all the time. People get tired of listening to me talk so much, But if it wasn't for Mason McCoy, I might not be here as long as I have been. So I got to thank him for that.
That's certainly true. We're going to have some inductions into the Lacrosse Baseball Hall of Fame that will be unveiled that night, which is an ever-growing group that, there's a special honor that's going on within the walkway at Copeland Park, which is a very cool thing. And now before Christmas, you can call right now and get your tickets to the Winter Baseball Barbecue. We've also got our 5-game quick trip 5-game packs on sale, which come with a free Loggers bobblehead while supplies last until Christmas. We've got our 10-game flex packs. You could book your birthday at the ballpark with Dairy Queen. Our gift cards are on sale right now. Our lager cards, $35 for just $25. Plus, you can download the Northwoods League app, which is a really cool thing. I don't know if you've got to see it a little bit.
No, I do have it. I have it on the phone. I get on there quite a bit.
It's awesome that the Northwoods League, you can download it. You can set the loggers as your favorite team. We've got a couple of contests there right now. You can sign up to be the Quick Trip featured family of the night. You can sign up to win a Dairy Queen birthday at the ballpark. Another Trojan, Clay Matthews. We've got an autographed football from him from Pepsi of Lacrosse as well. But we're going to be using that a lot this summer. It's going to have all your stats, the schedule. You can buy tickets right there. I mean, imagine it's useful for fans and coaches alike.
Well, it is, and it's user friendly. You know, as you know, I'm not big on apps and social media and all that, but it's very easy for me to navigate around that app, and I get on it quite a bit. So I think the fans are going to love it, and I highly suggest getting it on your phone as soon as you can.
You can download it from the Google Play Store or on iTunes and set the loggers as your favorite team to get the full interaction with us here. But that's it for this edition of Loggers Live. Once again, Mason McCoy and Stu Peterson will be joining us here in La Crosse for the Loggers Winter Baseball Barbecue, the 15th version of that. Thursday, January 25th at the American. For Chris Calloway, Coach Brian Lewis, we appreciate your time, and we'll see you next time.